Let it go. Lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Carlos Masher back with another video, and welcome to my Seattle Seahawks 2016 record predictions. Personally, I think they're going to do quite well, but other people think they're going to do probably the same around as last year. I think they're going to do probably a bit better, but you guys will see my predictions in this video. Starting off with Week 1 against the Miami Dolphins. You know, they're at home. They're going to be playing with a chip on their shoulder from the disappointing loss in Carolina to end their playoff run last year. So I think they're going to get the W there. I'm going to give them the win, solely based on the fact that they're at home, and if they start 0-1 at home, and then they're going to LA the week after, you know, that's just not going to be a good situation for them, where LA kind of owns them. Well, I guess when they were in St. Louis, they own it. We don't know about in LA, but either way, I think they're going to give them quite a beating in Week 1. To be quite honest with you guys, you know, defense hopefully going to be flying around. Russell Wilson's going to be, you know, scrambling, making those throws downfield, and then Thomas Rawls, hopefully he's good for Week 1, and hopefully Jimmy Graham is good for Week 1 as well. Moving on to Week 2, the first game ever in LA, in the new LA Stadium, I should say, against the LA Rams. I'm going to give them their first loss of the season here. Now, hear me out here. I want them to go undefeated. Like, as a fan of them, I want them to go undefeated. Everybody knows this. Anybody that knows me knows I want them to go undefeated. It's just a thing that a fan has. But, you know, being realistic, you know, number 1 pick, you know, like, and they're going to be a good team, like always. You know, that defensive pass rush always gets after us because we don't have the greatest O-line. So I'm going to give them their first loss of the season there, so they move to 1-1 after Week 2. The LA Rams give them their first loss of the 2016 season. Moving on to Week 3 against probably our biggest rivals, aside, like, in-division rivals, aside from, you know, our outside division rivals like Carolina and Green Bay, is against the San Francisco 49ers. We're back at home in Seattle at CenturyLink Field, and I'm going to give them the win against San Francisco to move to 2-1 on the season. You know, I don't think they've won in Seattle for, like, they haven't won in Seattle for a long, long time. Obviously, going back to the NFC Championship game where we destroyed them in the second half to come back and win. And then, obviously, the Sherman tip. But in 2016, I'm going to give them their second win of the season against the San Francisco 49ers. I think it's going to be a pretty close game. You know, they always give us quite a task, but I think they're going to get the W there. And moving on to Week 4, we have an interesting matchup against the New York Jets. They usually give us the Giants to play from New York, but they gave us the Jets this season. But in Week 4, I'm going to give them the W to move to 3-1 on the season and get a 2-game win streak going with a lot left in the season. But this matchup I think it's going to be quite a good game. I think we'll pull it out, though. You know, they have quarterback troubles. Their defense is really strong. But I do think we can pull out this game and get our 3rd win of the season. And now moving on to Week 5 against the matchup with the Atlanta Falcons. We usually have pretty good games against them. I think our last game against them was that divisional game in the playoffs 3 years ago. Would have been now, maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. But I think we're going to get the win there, move to 4-1 on the season, and continue our winning streak to 3 games in that week. And again, at home, we're pretty strong at home usually. You know, we had that win streak that went on, it seemed like forever. We were unstoppable. And then somebody broke it, and then, yeah. So I think we're gonna get the W there and move on to 4-1 on the season. And now on to week 5 in Arizona against the Cardinals. Sadly, I'm gonna give them the loss here to move to 4-2 on the season. Like we won there a couple years in our Super Bowl year, but we had Lynch. Um, we had basically our all-star team from those back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, and like I just don't think they're gonna let us walk all over them like we did. They'll have Carson Palmer. They'll have the high-flying offense that they bring. They'll have the great defense that they bring as well with Patrick Peterson and Tyrann Mathieu. And I think we're gonna get the loss there. Hopefully, like inside, I don't want them to, but realistically, I think they will take the loss to the Arizona Cardinals in week 6 to move to 4-2. All right, so the week after Arizona, we fly over to New Orleans to face off against the New Orleans Saints and Drew Brees, and I'm gonna give them the win there. Move to 5-2 on the season. I think it'll be another close game. I think mostly all these games are gonna be close this year. We have a really tough schedule, but I think with the team we have, we can pull out these close games and finish this season. Unlike last year where we had troubles finishing off games, we gave up comebacks. It was just it wasn't the greatest season last year for those comebacks. I gotta say that. But anyway, against the New Orleans Saints, I'm gonna give them the win to move to 5-2 on the season. And then another AFC matchup against the Buffalo Bills. I'm gonna give them the win here in Seattle to move to 6-2 on the season. And yeah, I think this is gonna be one of the more comfortable wins against the Bills. They're obviously not the greatest team, but they're still a talented football team nonetheless. And this is the game most Seattle fans wanted to happen in 2015, but it never happened. The rematch of the 2014 Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. Now, this is a very tough game to predict who's going to come out, because it is in New England. Tom Brady will be back, but who knows if he'll be rusty, because he'll miss the first four games of the season. So this will be his 5th game, if I'm not mistaken. But I want to give them the win so bad. But I think realistically, New England, they're so dominant in that stadium with the home crowd there. Tom Brady will be back. So I think they will take another loss to the New England Patriots, and that'll move them to 6-3 in the 2016 season. And after New England, they fly back to Seattle and have a home game against the Philadelphia Eagles. We beat Philadelphia last year in Philadelphia, and I think once again we will defeat the Philadelphia Eagles to move to 7-3 on the season. Very solid record so far. And yeah, I think it'll just be a solid win for them. It'll put them get their first win in the second half of the season, get that confidence back up after losing again to the Patriots. And I think after this, they will only lose one more game, but it'll be against someone you probably won't think of. Alright, so in week 11, they go to Tampa Bay to face off against Jameis Winston and the Buccaneers, and I'll think they'll get the W there. And in shiny Tampa, I think they will get the W and the win to move them to 8-3 on the 2016 season. Alright, going into week 12 against the Carolina Panthers, the team that represented the NFC in the Super Bowl last year, went 15-1. 15-1. They could have easily went undefeated last year, but they took an L to the Falcons. So, I mean, they're beatable. Everybody knows they're beatable. Any team is beatable. And I think we are going to beat them in Seattle to get redemption for the 2 losses we took to them last season. And yeah, it will move us to 9-3 on the 2016 season. We'll get the W, move to 9-3, and then be really prepared for next week's game against Green Bay. Now, this is going to be their final loss of the season against the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field. I just think Aaron Rodgers, Lambeau Field, deep in the season, it's probably going to be cold, to be quite honest with you. And I think they'll take another L there. I'm going to give them the loss, move to 9-4 on the season. Take the loss of the Green Bay Packers and move to 9-4. Alright, moving to the last 3 weeks of the season, the home stretch against the division rivals, like always. Perfect way to finish off the season. And I think we're going to go win, win, win. We're going to win out the season with 3 straight wins against all 3 of our division rivals and finish 12-4 on this 2016 schedule. Now, against the LA Rams at home, after taking the loss early in the season to them, I think they'll bounce back. They'll be more prepared and just play much better than they would have in week 2. And then against the Cardinals at home, they don't want to get swept by them. They want to get that win. It'll probably be a crucial win for the playoff seeds and for the division race, because everybody knows it's going to be either Seattle or Arizona that comes on top of the NFC West, like always. And then last week of the season, January 1st, actually, that came on 1-1 in San Francisco. I think they're going to have to win there. They're going to sweep San Francisco once again and finish the season 12-4. So it's a solid season. Same record as their 2014 record. They get one more win than the season in 2015. And hopefully they'll make a strong playoff run. I really do think that this team can make the Super Bowl again. They have the talent. They have, they beefed up the O-line a bit in the draft. They have the defense still. They'll probably have Jimmy Graham for the whole season, hopefully, and hopefully use him a bit better because we won't have Lynch, so we won't be that run-heavy team probably anymore. I would hope so, because we went to more of an aerial attack late in the season, last season, and Thomas Rawls will be that insurance policy if we do need to run the ball, say if the weather's not necessarily perfect or something like that. And, Thomas Rawls is so talented, so quick, so agile, but he also has that power like Lynch did. So I think he's a great replacement for Lynch. Yeah, and this is my 2016 Seattle Seahawks schedule prediction. They're going to finish 12-4. That's what I'm predicting for them. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, rating, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.